Aaron Torres, welcome back to Tuscaloosa. You were right. We were wrong.
Well, I appreciate it, Ryan. Not the first time. Won't be the last. So, not that you guys are wrong, but that I'm right. I'm not saying you guys are never wrong. As a matter of fact, I can think of many times you were right, Ryan. I remember when you telling us that Alabama was going to dominate Florida State in that opener. You believed in Alabama against Georgia. So this was the one time, I think, where I gave you some faith when you didn't already have any. But I'm happy to see the Tide there. I think that they were one of the 68 best teams throughout the season. I thought they were one of the 36 best at-large candidates over the course of the year. And it was nice to see them win a game or two in St. Louis to seal it all up and get ready for this big bracket of 68 that we got coming up here in the next few days.
Yeah, and I want to get your thoughts on a lot of different angles, but let me start with Alabama. Let's go back to the SEC tournament. The layup, and you talk about football many times as the game of inches. So is basketball. If that layup from Colin Sexton in 4.4 seconds does not go in, we're sitting here making NIT plans, man.
Yeah, no, I think that's totally fair. And look, I know this is something that we've hit on every time I've been on throughout basketball season, Ryan, but that was the reality of the SEC this year, was that when you won a game, you could get hot and win 2 or 3. When you lost a game, you could, that one game losing streak could become 3 or 4. And so I think, look, Alabama really struggled at the end of the season, but I really think that was indicative of how deep this conference was. As every single night, it seemed like you were playing an NCAA tournament caliber team. So to me, to see that shot go in, and then obviously, look, Alabama proves just how good they are by going out the next night and beating those guys from the other part of the state, And so to me, it proved to others what you and I already knew. This was a team that was NCAA tournament caliber. They clinched that berth and they deserved it. But you're right, without that Colin Sexton shot, that's 6 straight losses to end the season. And I think we're almost certainly talking about an NIT game at Coleman Coliseum this week.
All right, so let me go back to the game against Auburn. Wow. What a game. Was that more about Alabama's doing, or was that Auburn just collapsing?
Well, I think it was a little bit of both, right? Because I think, like I said, once Alabama kind of refound their legs and they kind of realized, maybe we're not as bad as that losing streak indicated, I thought that they played with a renewed sense of confidence and optimism. But I also think Auburn's just not the same team as they were the last couple of weeks. And look, this is a team, I know that you guys have fun poking at Auburn and all that, but they were ravaged by injuries, obviously suspensions early in the year, but they really haven't been the same team since they lost that kid Anthony McLemore, the big guy down low. They've just been a completely different team. And I thought that nationally the story of Auburn was pretty cool. I probably would have given my National Coach of the Year to Bruce Pearl if I had a vote. But you look at them down the stretch, 3 losses in their last 4 games. The only win during that stretch was against South Carolina, which was about the 14th or 15th, or probably 12th or 13th best team in the SEC this year. So, to me, I think that Auburn, to be point blank, is kind of where Alabama was a week ago. They're kind of soul searching. They're kind of trying to figure things out. It's interesting because they'll be playing in San Diego this week in a game that I'll be at. But I very much believe that Auburn has played its best basketball. I'll be honest, I'd be surprised if they were in this tournament beyond the first weekend.
So you're actually going to the game?
Yeah, work's sending me. I'd rather be on the couch with a cold one, but when work calls, when they write you a check, you got to do what they say,
Okay, but just let those Auburn people know that they're not allowed to drive those tractors on the main roads. Let them know that, because listen, when you bring people out of Lee County, which is where they're located, to San Diego, the civilized country of California out there, okay, when you bring these redneck hillbillies out of Lee County to San Diego, they do things quite different there. Have you ever been to Auburn? Have you ever been to Auburn?
One, I've never been to Auburn.
Okay.
2, I was going to say, do those tractors move fast enough to get them out to San Diego by Friday afternoon?
No. Yeah, they left us immediately following the selection show. They were en route. They had them gassed up. Yeah, they're ready to go. But I mean, tell me.
The California gas prices? It's pretty expensive out here.
Hey, tell me another school in the country that throws toilet paper and trees after winning a game.
Well, there weren't trees there for a while, from my understanding. From
some
what I read on
Alabama
the
guy,
internet.
some Alabama guy tore those trees down.
I know.
All right.
I know. But yeah, no, I've never heard of that tradition before. And if I see a guy on a tractor in, here in San Diego, not here, I'm not in San Diego right now, but in San Diego, I'm going to tell him, Ryan Fowler said that you're embarrassing your entire state, and be better than that. That's what I'm going to tell him. Do you think that's too mean? Is that too harsh?
Well, just tell them to, clean up their act. I mean, but most people don't even know where they're located, so it's not really going to do any harm. I mean, it's okay. Just let it go, and you take photos, put them on Twitter, and we'll retweet you and get you a lot of interaction. But hey, real quick, before we go back to this NCAA, now see, Marquise is from California. He says the word NCAA tournament. We say it tournament. But he's from California. How do you guys say it out there?
Tournament?
Yeah, that's close.
Tournament? Well,
yeah. You said it right there. You said it right there.
Torn? No, not like torn. Not like I'm torn. It's turn. Like I'm turning. Like an Auburn fan is turning on their tractor.
Yeah,
like
right.
Turning on a different road.
Yeah,
I call it tournament.
Yeah, I know, but we're in the South, so it's we kind of butcher some of those big.
So you call it tournament.
NCAA tournament.
Yeah, tournament. Yeah, no, that's right. Marquise is wrong. It's okay. I like Marquise, but he's wrong on this one.
Marquise, you're wrong on this one.
He was due. He hasn't been wrong in about, last I heard was, we're closing in on, I don't know, a decade since Marquise has been wrong. So, I mean, he was due for one.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So as we go to this Bruce Pearl conversation, what happens following the season? You think this guy survives? You think he's coaching next year at Auburn?
It's really interesting, Ryan. You mentioned my podcast, the Aaron Torres Sports Podcast. I had on Paul Feinbaum not too long ago, a guy who I'm sure you know really well. And, he was talking hoops with me, and he said that he does not believe that Bruce Pearl will be back next year. And I don't think that Paul has any super inside information. What he just said was really simple. The new AD has not met with Bruce Pearl since Bruce Pearl got there. I believe they have since met, but I don't think that they are on the best of terms. And I think Paul put it pretty succinctly. If the new boss showed up on the first day and wanted to talk to you, you don't refuse that invitation, And so to me, if you're saying, will he be back? Will he be coaching the first game next year? I would put it at 46. I would put it at 40% yes, 60% no, because I think that, one, it's not only a matter of whether anything comes out that directly implicates Auburn or Bruce Pearl with this FBI investigation. This isn't the AD is not going to bat for a guy that he doesn't know. The AD is not going to war for a guy that he doesn't know and circumstances that he doesn't know. So I think the question then becomes, kind of where does how does a firing potentially happen? Cause, no cause. But I don't know. I've heard too many rumblings to believe that there's no way that Bruce Pearl gets let go. I could see a scenario where he survives, but man, it's not even that he's directly implicated. It's just that there was so much smoke. And again, the AD doesn't know him. So my hunch is about 40% that he'll be coaching next year, 60% that he won't. And remember too, by the way, Ryan, college basketball, like college football, is a long off season. It will be from the day that Auburn loses, potentially as early as this week, until the first game next year or next season in November. That is a long time to sit around. My hunch is that I would say it's more likely than not that he is not back as coach next year.
All right, Aaron, let's go into this bracket here. Who is your pick to win it all? I mean, who are you filling out your bracket? Because we need some help. You got to remember, we're football fans here in Tuscaloosa, right? I mean, we don't know a lot about, brackets. And, we're never part of the conversation. I mean, we're finally, our name, ALABAMA, is in the bracket, man. So help us. Who are you picking to win it all?
Oh, I haven't gone that far yet. My hunch is Arizona. I really think that another team directly involved in the FBI, that's a team that really, when they've been healthy all season long, they've actually been pretty good. They haven't always played great, but the record is really good. They're 27-7. 4 of their 7 losses have come with one of their 2 best players out of the lineup, or one of their 3 best players really out of the lineup. So to me, I don't know. I just think they're playing the right way, and I don't know how many of your fans may have tuning in that Pac-12 championship game on Saturday night, they have a kid named DeAndre Ayton who very well could be the number 1 pick in the draft. And that's the kind of kid. He's a big guy, 7-foot center, but he can do it all. Back to the basket, shoot from the perimeter. He can pass. He can handle the ball. And that's a guy that could just put a team on his back, very much like he did in the Pac-12 tournament. I just think that, believe it or not, the SEC, as we've discussed all year, been so tough. They play Kentucky in the second round. And I think if they can get by Kentucky, the bracket actually opens up very nicely for them. They would get Virginia in the Sweet 16, who I think they can beat. I believe they would get Cincinnati in the Elite Eight. I like Arizona to at least make it to the Final Four. I haven't gone so far as to make my actual predictions yet, but that's where I'm leaning early on.
Okay. Give me some maybe, I don't know if you want to call them dark, but kind of just picks that maybe out of the normal kind of bubble. You pick 8 or 10 teams. Give me a team that you think if they get hot, they could really do some damage.
All right, I'll give you a few. First of all,
yeah, I'm writing them down literally because I need help with this darn bracket, man.
That's what I'm here for, Ryan. We're friends for, right? Our whole community here is friends. Your listeners are my friends too. They're always very nice to me, so it's the least I can do to give them some thoughts. So what I'll say is this: Arkansas in round 1 plays Butler. In round 2, they'll play the 2 seed, which is Purdue. As weird as this sounds, Ryan, I truly believe it. As weird as this sounds, I believe it. Arkansas's first-round game with Butler will be tougher than a potential second-round game with Purdue. If Arkansas can win that first game, I think they beat Purdue. The thing with the NCAA tournament, it is so much about matchups. And there are so many teams that if this team wins this game, they'll go on a run, but they could also lose that game and be done in the first weekend or the second weekend. So to me, I think that Arkansas is one. If they can get by that first-round game, I think they're playing in the Sweet 16. I'll give you another one. I'm trying to look. So first of all, by the way, go ahead and mark this one down. I feel really good about this one. So in that same region as your beloved Auburn Tigers, all those tractor drivers over there in Auburn, Clemson plays New Mexico State.
Okay.
Now, I'm no genius, Ryan. I don't claim to be. I'm handsome, but I'm not very smart. But here's the deal. Clemson is like a 2.5-point favorite in Vegas right now. Does that make any sense to you?
None.
Doesn't make sense? None to me. Exactly. So I think that's an upset that you can pencil in pretty good. New Mexico State was really good throughout the course of this season. Clemson was one of those teams that really peaked about 2 or 3 weeks ago, maybe even a month or so ago. I think that they're ready to start watching Dabo Swinney's football team on the spring practice field because I think it's going to be a short stay for them. So I like Auburn to advance. I like Clemson to lose to New Mexico State in the first round. And I'll give you another one. Nevada, they play in round 1. They play Texas. I think they win that game. Nevada's coach used to coach in the NBA. So why am I bringing that up? The NBA is obviously a much more condensed schedule, 82 games. NBA coaches don't have a lot of time to prepare for games, right? And so I think Nevada, again, if they can get through round 1 against Texas, I think they beat Cincinnati in round 2 because I trust that their coach is going to be able to get that team ready in a short amount of time. So in essence, what I'm saying is this, Ryan. I like Arkansas as a 7 seed to get to the Sweet 16. I like Nevada as a 7 seed to get to the Sweet 16. And I like New Mexico State to win at least one game against Clemson. And who knows, maybe you get that beat-up Auburn team in the second round.
All right, so give us a little preview. Alabama, Virginia Tech. Do we have a chance?
Yeah, I think you have a chance. I mean, look, the thing about Virginia Tech is they have really, really, really good guards, right? And so, they're almost a little bit, Ryan, like Auburn before all the injuries. So Auburn was a team that basically had 3 or 4 really good guards and basically like one big guy. And that's basically Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech is really athletic, really quick on the perimeter. And I'll tell you what, I think that game is going to be one of the most interesting first-round matchups. Now, I know that doesn't make you feel great as a Bama guy. You want the walkover. I don't think it's going to be that game. I think Alabama can win, but this just feels like a bad matchup for them. I don't know that they match up great with Virginia Tech. Not saying it can't happen, Just saying I don't feel great about it.
Okay,
I'm sorry,
so
man.
here we got the guy that has believed in us for like the last month when nobody believed in Alabama and they took shots at our Crimson Tide and you lifted our spirits. Now you're going to kick us in the teeth on the day that we're celebrating that we're part of the NCAA Tournament. The NCAA Tournament, we're in it, and you're going to kick us in the teeth like this, Aaron Torres.
No, I'm just preparing the fan base for the possibility that it might not be perfect. That's all. But, hey, you know what? Here's the truth. You guys are going to have the best player on the court, Colin Sexton. And if you got the best player on the court, anything can happen. And that's all I'm saying, right? One team's got two or the other team doesn't, you feel good on the football field. So it's the same in basketball. Colin Sexton can completely take over that game. He will need some help from some other people, though. And by the way, I think either team that wins that game, I think they're going to give Villanova a little bit of a challenge in the second round. We can talk about that. Maybe we'll do a weekend show. I don't know. You and I. Who knows what we'll do. But I think if Alabama wins that game, they can give Villanova trouble. But you got to get by Virginia Tech first. They're small, they're quick, they're athletic, Ryan. But, listen, I don't put it past Avery Johnson to put together a game plan that will allow Alabama to have some success.
Okay. Aaron Torres, I appreciate you, man. You're like our therapist. Like a couple of weeks ago, we were crying on your shoulder. Now we're celebrating with you, and you're giving us the real hard truth on a Monday. We appreciate it, man. We appreciate somebody that will be honest with us and not – because we're not basketball people here. We're just – we know a lot about the pigskin. We don't know a lot about that.
That scares me, though, Ryan. That scares me because – you guys don't need a therapist during football season. That means I won't hear from you again until next basketball season. You don't need a therapist during football. You guys win every game by 60 points.